So educating India's youth, where do we go from here? Health, electricity, food, water, these are critical because these are things that people need now. But if we look forward 20 or 30 years, if we aren't able to educate the population of our country adequately, broadly defined education, a farmer should be a great farmer, we're going to fail. And I always say that what oil is to Saudi Arabia, human capital could be to India. But we need to process that human capital adequately to get there. 9.5 billion people on the planet in the next 30 years, of which our population will be 1.5 billion. Given our current education system, if we don't disrupt and create radical change, I fear that we will be held back, many of our people will be held back in terms of illiteracy. The current numbers are, Pratham has done a study they do every year called the ASER report, and only 48% of children in grade 5 can read at a grade 2 level. 48 cannot read at a grade 2 level. So that is a very sad statistic. 44% of children in standard 8 can't do basic arithmetic, a simple division, 869 divided by 7. Every year we create 25 million new kids, and we're effectively destroying human capital every year if we aren't able to give them the basic education that will give them access to opportunity on our increasingly interconnected planet. What jobs will they be able to get? Will they be able to take advantage of the jobs on the planet as technology, artificial intelligence, global interconnectivity and all start to make an abundant world, as Peter Diamandis speaks? Or will that abundance be for the few? Unemployment could be a huge, huge curse. A study says that young militia members revealed that 40% joined organizations to escape unemployment. Only 13% did so for ideological reasons. You look at ISIS and you look at all these problems on the planet, Boko Haram. How are we going to solve these problems? Lack of productive jobs causes youth to turn to violence. We need to find ways to educate our youth and give them a chance to actually find meaningful employment. So the way I look at it is, India is a burning platform, but I would actually say much broader than that. The world is a burning platform. All of us here, the 1%, as we keep talking about, the good we secure for ourselves, do we think we're safe from this planet where there's going to be increased unemployment, lack of growth, lack of potentially food, water, and so on? Are we safe in our little oases? Imagine this room, 100 of us in this room, where one person had 44% of all the food and water in this room. And 8 people out of 100 had 83% of all the food and water in this room. And give it 24 hours, give it 48 hours, what would happen? There would be a revolution. And as the world gets more connected, and as the TVs make this reality, that 8% of the planet shares 83% of the world's wealth, as that comes into every living room and every village and every hut, you will have a lot of very angry people who believe that's unfair and want a solution. We're part of that. Great leaders have pointed this out for a long time. Franklin Roosevelt said, the test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have too much or have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. The people that have not the 83%, but the 17% of the wealth. And yet I'm hopeful. This is a gloomy picture, but I'm very hopeful because I believe that technology and collective action can create massive change. And if we work together collectively, I think we can do great things. And people around the world are uniting to do this, and technology is helping them to do this as well. The potential for this diaspora to come together and work together and do something great is unlimited. One of us doing it on our own is very hard. But us doing it together, collectively, I think we can change the world. How can we change the world? If you look at each one of us is a bundle of resources. Each one of us knows people, has networks, has potentially foundations, charitable giving, knows school systems, knows governments, innovators, corporations, entrepreneurs. Each one of us is deeply connected in this world because of the success we've had. So if you look at us, we can be the lever. And with our connections and with platforms like the World Economic Forum, which have united together to work on specific issues, I think we can actually move the needle. To me, my inspiration in life has always been Gandhiji, who came from South Africa without anything, came to India, and just with moral force of character and good organizational skills, communication skills, in an era when communication was by radio, he was able to bring this all together and actually create great change. What are the problems on our planet today? Illiteracy, violence, gender issues, health, disease, inequity, climate change, poverty, and on and on. What is the root? How do we solve these problems? Given a 20 or 30-year view, how can we do that? I think education is the key in all of these areas. If one thinks deeply, education in all these things, and I believe values education, which is what our foundation is focused on. We now have 1 million children in 13 countries where we focus on values education, I think can make all the difference. But actually literacy, STEM, gender education, all of these things, science education, can make a huge difference. With a little bit of care and a little bit of love from us. Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And I agree with him. And technology is going to be disruptive. I was with Naveen Jain 2 days ago, and he believes, and he made a presentation on how technology is going to disrupt education fundamentally, where a great professor from Harvard can teach a villager in a remote village in India whatever that child wants to learn. And that's not very far away. So the World Economic Forum has created something called Get In, which is, imagine a Silicon Valley online, a virtual Silicon Valley, where everyone on the planet interested in education comes together and knows what everyone else is doing. And it's called the Global Education and Technology Innovation Network. And the idea is a very simple one, to create a common platform where everyone knows what everyone else is doing. There are great experiments happening on this planet, in India, in Brazil, in Chile, in China, and yet we don't know really what everyone else is doing. We all try and invent our own models to solve problems. But let's collect all these ideas together on a common platform. Let's collect capital together on a common platform. Let's collect actors together on a common platform. And then take the best ideas, screen the best ideas, and take them globally. That's really the challenge we have. My vision for this community is, let us work together to make India a laboratory for this experiment. Because there is a coming technology disruption in education. And I believe India, the Saudi Arabia of human capital, can actually be a place where we can test at scale these ideas and make change. So the way I see it is, the platform can be used to actually bring ideas together and test them in our country. And then from there, we may be able to be a laboratory that can actually spread this wisdom and values and these proven models around the world. And we met with the Rajasthan Chief Minister, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, and we're now working on these ideas. We met with our HR department, HRD Minister, and the Prime Minister's office, and we are now working on this in a very serious way. And the reason I believe this community can be particularly effective is because I actually believe the United States, which is the birthplace of great technologies, is actually going to play a very important role in this revolution. And so we can be the points of light that actually create those linkages. And we can have a world like that, where education actually creates a world of abundance for everyone, and not just for the top few percent, the 8% that share 83% of the world's wealth. So please, get involved. How can you get involved? Sign up. Give some of your time and expertise. Get your next generation involved. You want them to be connected to the world, connected to India. If you have teenagers, children, get them involved in service in these areas. Health as well. I love what Sunil is doing. I think it's very close to education in many ways. Sanitation, all these things are very connected. Connect your relevant networks. All of you will know people that would be excited by this vision. Tell us who they are. Bring them to the table. Let's create a group of collective action. Advocate. We need to talk to people and say this is important and it's a burning platform. We're running out of time. And obviously, contribute if you have funds, because this will take capital. I leave you with a small story. This little girl in a classroom is drawing away furiously at the back of the classroom, and everyone else has stopped drawing. And someone asks the girl, the teacher asks the girl, "Mary, what are you drawing?" She says, "Ma'am, I'm drawing a picture of God." The teacher says, "Do you know what God looks like?" No one here knows. No one knows what God looks like. And she turns to the teacher and says, "They soon will." So let us have the innocence of a child to believe we can actually make a difference. And let's not be anesthetized into paralysis, believing that actually this is too great a challenge and we're not going to be able to do it. So please get involved. Thank you.